Very good morning. Jai Shri Krishna Guru. Thank you for joining Sai Satcharita Parayan. Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswataya Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Sai Satcharita, the life and teachings of Shirdi, Sai Baba. We'll continue from where we stopped, that is chapter 47, the tale of Veerabhadhrappa and Chenabasappa. My obeisance to Shri Ganesh, to Shri Saraswati and Shri Guru Maharaj, to the family deity, to Shri Sita Ramachandra, my most humble obeisance, I bow with reverence to the most venerable Guru, Shri Sai Nath. We stopped at verse 135, but I will just do a small recap what happened to the three people, the wealthy man, his wife, and Dubaki. Suddenly the lightning struck, pulling the whole building to the ground. Only the land without its rightful owner remained safe. The rest was all burnt up down. Ruin came upon the wealthy man too. He, along with his wife, died, and so did Dubaki. The lives of all the three came to an end. Later, the wealthy man was born to a poor Brahmin in Mathura, while his devout wife was born to a priest. She was named Gauri. Dubaki had a different fate. She was born as a male child to Gaurav. At the naming ceremony of this boy, he was given the name Chenabasappa. Thus, all the three underwent a transformation, the result of the karma of each. After his rebirth, the wealthy man was named Veerabhadhrappa. Such is the essence of one's prarabdha karma, that it ends only after it is worked out fully. I was very fond of the priest of Lord Shiva, who used to come to our house every day and smoke the pipe with me. Then we would converse happily the whole night. Gauri grew up and became of a marriageable age. The priest used to bring her also with him. So I hope you got the background. Now what happened to the karma? See, the wealthy man was a miser. He was a miser personification. And even after Shankara coming in, the wealthy man's wife's dream and telling her to, contribute whatever that she can offer towards the renovation of the temple, the miser, the wealthy man was completely devastated because he didn't want to part even with a penny. So because of his greed and, selfish motive, what he does is he takes his wife's jewels and gives her the land, the barren land. And then after that, the rest is, we just went through it, and there's a calamity struck, the lightning happens, then the whole building collapses, everybody gives into their fate because of their karma, and they all die. Now what happens after death? They have taken a rebirth. Now this is a very important lesson you need to understand about karma. How does karma happen? How does karma continue till that you are not, nullified whatever that you have to finish off with that person? Because then you're born again and again and again till the time you're not fully burnt out that karma. See here, it is very, Baba has mentioned here. After his rebirth, such is the essence of one's prarabdha karma that it ends only after it is fully worked out. What does it mean? Till you don't finish that karma, you have to keep being born again and again with the same individual, but in different relationships, in different lives. Now here Dubaki has become a man. He is named as Chenabasappa, and the wealthy miser has become Veerabhadra. And the wealthy man's wife, she is born as Gauri. Now see how the fate brings back them together. Let us understand how does this karma work. And Baba in this one chapter has given you the essence of a glimpse. This is not even the surface he's touched. This is only a glimpse, and to give you an understanding how not to get into the karma, the karmic debt with anybody. That is why my Krishna Guruji will always keep telling us, you don't want to be born again with that person. Why are you, fighting? Why are you getting angry? Why are you getting upset with somebody? Please understand, when you get upset, when you get angry, or whatever that happens, you are, getting in a karmic bond with that individual, whether it is your this bodily father, mother, brother, sister, husband, wife, you name any relationship, even office, your bosses, your friends, your colleagues, you name it. Every association is dangerous. So the moment you get into any karmic activity with any of these people, then you are bound by that. So that is what spirituality teaches us, how to release oneself from this bondage of the material worldly existence and not have any karma with anybody. But as this body is come with its prarabdha karma, which means we have to expiate our karma, that which we have come with. That is why we have taken birth in a specific family, in association with specific people. Why? Because we have the karma associated with them. So this is the only life you have to redeem yourself. Focus on your spiritual being. The only way to redeem is with the seva, guru seva, with the grace of your guru. He absolves all your karma. But understand, if you give in to your self-conceit and deceit, he also can't do anything after that. After that, you are on your own. That is the lesson which Baba is emphasizing here. Through this beautiful story, he's telling what happens. And if you want to redeem yourself, please listen to your words of your guru and follow the path of love and devotion. Don't have enmity with anybody. Don't be angry with anyone. It is not worth it. Please understand. They are going to be in their gutters. Why do you want to go yourself in that gutters too? Don't go. Be associated with the guru. Do his guru seva. That's the only way out for you to redeem yourself. There is no other way. There is no other means. So let us see what happens. And even she used to worship me. One day the priest asked, I have been looking out for a good match for Gauri, but nowhere have I succeeded. Baba, I am exhausted searching for suitable match. All my efforts have failed, and I am at my wit's end. I said, why do you worry? The groom is already on his way. Your daughter is very fortunate and will become very wealthy. It is in search of her that her groom is coming to her of his own accord. See, this is how karma happens. The karma is this. He will come to your house shortly and fulfill your wish. He will accept her hand in marriage as per your words. Here, due to abject poverty, Veerabhadra set out leaving his home after reassuring his parents. From village to village, he roamed begging for alms, or sometimes earning by manual labor and being content with eating whatever he got. In the course of his wanderings, as luck would have it, he came to the house of this priest. Everyone liked him. Truly inconceivable is Allah Mia's Leela. Gradually, he won the priest's affection, so that the priest felt that he should offer Gauri to him in marriage. The horoscopes matched, and the priest was very happy. One day, the priest came, bringing Veerabhadra with him. Seeing them both together at that time, suddenly an idea struck me. The idea immediately found expression in words. If an auspicious day is available currently for wedding, give Gauri to him and be free of the responsibility. He took his wife's consent, and Veerabhadra was fixed as the groom. An auspicious day was chosen and the marriage was performed most befittingly. Ceremonies over, the couple came for my darshan and blessings for a happy, fruitful married life. Happily, I gave them my benediction. Assured of 2 square meals, Veerabhadra's face glowed with thoughts of comforts and happiness. And he too began to worship me. Shortly, they set up their home. But is there a man so fortunate who is not wearied out for want of money? See, this is a very important question you need to understand and you need to ask yourself. Shortly, they set up their home. But is the man so fortunate who is not wearied out for want of money? See, the moment you set up your house, then you want money. You want more comforts, more luxury, more desires crop up. And you want to keep fulfilling. So the want of money is never going to leave you. for a man. So here Baba is asking a question: is there a man so fortunate who doesn't want money? This money is such a snare that even the great and the wealthy cannot escape its harassment. From time to time, Veerabhadra too began to feel the pinch. Such is the trick that money plays. Oh my God. I'll reread this once again. This money is such a snare. Snare means what? It's going to bite you. It's always going to entice you. It's like, I want it, I want it, I want to be rich, I want to be wealthy. But what we don't understand is that's an enticement. That's called maya. And greed is very dangerous. Likewise, lust is very dangerous. So what happens is, the moment you get into it, it's going to, hold you with its clutches. You're going to get entangled in that, and there is no way out of it. Please understand. This snare, the money is such a snare that even the great and the wealthy, even for the great and the wealthy, cannot escape its harassment. It's always going to harass you. The more you have, the more you want. The less you have, the more you want. Nothing you have, the more you want something. So that is how it works. Even if you have money, there is a problem. Even if you don't have money, there is a problem. So the most important thing is, you have to always accept your life as is, whatever God has bestowed upon you, and feel contented within that. Please understand, God knows to give that which is right for you. And at the right time, He knows what is required for your living, for your wife, for your family, for your children. He has already made provisions. So don't keep hankering for more. Just surrender to Him, and He will take care of your life. Why are you bothered how the money will come, where the money will come from, how will I feed my family? All that, you don't worry. The one who has given birth to you, who is the one who is taking care of you. What makes you think you are responsible for your mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife, children, you name it? You are not responsible for anyone. Everybody comes with their own destiny. You are only an instrument. If you are born of some womb, it is just the karma that is associated with them, not for anything else. You have to expiate that karma with that individuals. That is why you are born in that particular family, and it is because of your prarabdha karma, your past karma, that you have come into that prarabdha with them. So there is no choice whether you might be born of a rich family, whether you're born of a poor family. All that is because of your karma alone. So don't hold God responsible for all of your karmas, please. It is your doing. And in this, isn't Lord Shankara was kind? Please donate it to me. Had he listened to his wife and donated to Lord, you think he's going to have suffered that consequence? No, never. But since you have to give it your mind self-conceit, deceit, greed, lust, avarice, you name it. So what happened? That is what the calamity struck. And then everybody died in the end, and sanctioning a new life in which he's poor, he's begging for food. This is what happens. So whatever your condition of your life is because of your past karmas. Why are you blaming God for it? Nobody is responsible except you. Please understand the rule of karma. This human being have a very nice way to say, God, why are you doing this to me? Why do you think God is doing anything to you? You think God is sitting there jobless, is it? He only cares about you. Oh, he only wants to bring misery in your life. Of all the people in this entire universe, he's only chosen you to give you misery. What kind of a rubbish is that? Please wake up. It is your gutter life that you have come from from the past birth. Many lives of all your previous birth. And then you're telling God, why is this only happening to me? Please be kind enough that because God is there, that you're not suffering furthermore. He's actually cushioning your karma. He has cushioned your karma. But you are an ungrateful creature who will want to blame God. So coming back, this money, okay. From time to time, Veerabhadra too began to feel the pinch. Such is the trick that money plays. Baba, these fetters of marriage are very hard. And for want of money, I am completely exhausted. Please show me some way out, whereby I will be able to cope with these family responsibilities. What do you think? I am not saying anything. Scripture is saying, Baba is saying here. You know what is he saying? Baba, these fetters of marriage are very hard. People think getting married is such a simple thing. Like bringing one, bullock cart and one cow and getting married, and then life is over. They don't understand what kind of a shit that is in life. Sorry for my French. They're going to go into the gutters. And it's such an entanglement. There are so many more demands that comes about. Your life will become miserable. It is only 2 days of happiness. They say the honeymoon period is only 90 days and after that it's a hell for rest of your life. In what way? Please hear, Baba is mentioning here. Baba, these fetters of marriages are very hard, and for want of money, I am completely exhausted. No matter how much you earn, okay, God will bless you 1 lakh, 2 lakh, how much money do you want? Yet, you will still fall short of every penny that you will earn. You're still going to be in debts. You're still going to be, struggling to fulfill the demands of your wife, children, family, in-laws, you name it. Every association is going to pull you down. What are you going to do then? Spiritual is the out of window. Spirituality doesn't exist at that time because you are in the clutches of Maya. Maya will ensnare you. That's it. The moment you go into her mouth, finish. You're gone. This is exactly what it is. That is why every scripture says, never go against a guru's decision. A guru always take up the decision with the grace of the master, not on your own will, not satisfying some people in your life. Never fall for this. I will tell you one very interesting thing in my own life. The whole world, the societal pressures of me having to get married, everybody will like literally talking bad about me, ill about me, too many things. And I chose a life which is, for me, a God-pleasing life. I chose to live with my Guruji. But people wanted to talk whatever they want to. They insult, they talk bad, they go and backbite to this body's parents, relatives, so many things. I stood firmly. The question I asked is, why should I be afraid when I am, choosing Lord Shri Krishna? I am married to Lord Shri Krishna. What is that I have to be afraid of? If I am walking the path of truth, the world is obviously going to say all sorts of things. You think I have to get deceived by it? That is my test to see who I choose. I choose Lord or I choose the material world, or I'm going to be afraid and fall for the material world. This is a firm decision I took. Even today I'm telling you, I'm not interested in anything. I only care about my Krishna Guruji, who has given me the highest spiritual wheel. Spiritual wheel is to attain self, to God realize and redeem this body's parents, everything, free from this bondage for once and for all. I am not interested in coming back once again with anybody. I don't need to be associated with anyone and have any karma with anybody. It is the most miserable thing to go through. But what is the most beautiful thing of this human birth? That you can experience God. You can love God. You can be devoted to Him. You can do the service of your Guru. That is the most beautiful thing. Today, sitting here and, studying Sai Satcharita Parayan along with you is the blessing that I can think about this human birth. Besides that, nothing else is a blessing. Please understand, everybody is living in that miserable mind. They cannot get out of their ego. They have just given into it. In whatever the days that they are remaining, you have to take the name of the divine. Instead of that, they are worried about their ego. Somebody said this to me. I have given more wealth to my children. Whatever, they are just going through that, and they think they own he's my son, he's my daughter, I have the right. Nobody has right over anybody. Please understand, whatever the time is left in your life, take the name of the divine. The only name should be on your lip is the name of the Lord. Hari Bol, 24/7. That's the only good you can do to yourself. Don't get carried away with anything else. It is not worth it. Let me tell you this much. So here it's saying, Baba, these fetters of marriage are very hard, and for want of money, I am completely exhausted. Please show me some way out whereby I will be able to cope with these family responsibilities. I fall at your feet in supplication. Such deception is not good. Please remove my difficulties, for you alone are responsible for my marriage. How convenient. Why is God responsible for your marriage? God has always been telling, don't get married, don't get married. Every scripture is talking this. Don't get into that gutters. You don't know what you are going to get into. There is already a premonition given, a warning given. Yet you want to go and show your self-conceit and go into the marriage. And now you want to fall supplication saying, save me from this marriage. And what else? He is blaming Baba. For you are alone responsible for my marriage. Oh, how convenient. Oh, did Baba tell him to go get married? He knows that is his karma. Baba is already giving a warning. Don't go in that direction. Don't go. Wait, have patience. When you follow the instructions of the Lord, then no karma accrues to you. But when you go against that, destiny comes in play. This is exactly what happens, and a man doesn't understand this truth. No matter how much my Krishna Guruji teaches everybody, it goes waste. because everybody is still going to use their mind and get into the gutters. I also used to advise him repeatedly and bless him with affection, saying, only Allah Malik knows this and He alone will resolve your difficulty. Of course, yes. Why should Baba resolve any difficulty? Or is Baba responsible for anybody's marriage? No. Baba can only say, don't do or do. At the end of the day, choice is in your hands. It is what you choose. It is your self-conceit and your deceit. If you want to go in the gutters, nobody else can save you. God alone can save you. God also cannot save you because your destiny comes into play. Knowing the wishes of Veerabhadra's heart, and so that they may be fulfilled, I used to reassure him and tell him not to be unhappy at all. Your prosperous period is at hand. Do not get agitated needlessly. Wealth will be to you a facility like washing your hand, and you will have it in abundance. See, based on your prarabdha karma, that which you have to get will anyways is going to come at the right time. If your marriage is written in your fate, it is going to happen. But the only thing is, when you listen to the words of the Guru and go as per his instruction, that marriage will become very beautiful. In that, no karma will accrue. No, you will not get into any kind of karmic debt with anybody, because it is coming with the blessing of your Guru. And whichever girl comes with the grace of your master, there will be no karma. It will become sinless. That fruit which will come to you will be sinless. There will be no karmic debt attached to anybody. But if you go against that, all the karma comes on your head. Wealth scorns me, and my wife's demands for this and that have no end. Enough, oh enough of this ignominy. I do not want this greatness of marriage status. See, this is what happens to every man. After they get married, they will have to go through this miserable state. This is Satya, this is scripture that is talking about. You think whatever you see in the world is truth? No. Scripture is talking the truth. Baba is saying this time and again, so that it enters your brain. But later, a marvelous thing happened. Just see the wonder of Gauri's planetary position. That the piece of reclaimed land shot up with value. Truly, God's Leela is inscrutable. A buyer approached with an offer of 1 lakh rupees. Half the amount he paid in cash on the spot, and the remaining half he agreed to pay in installments. It was decided that he should pay installments of 2,000 per year with interest, thus paying the entire remaining amount over the next 25 years. In this way, Gauri would collect quite a large amount. Everyone approved of this decision, but the Gaurav Chenabasappa stood up saying, the Gaurav is the first owner of the money that is offered to Shiva. He said, half the yearly interest is for me as my share, without which I will not be satisfied. See, has karma come into play? Of course, yes. People think, oh, wealth is going to come, it's all mine, I'm going to enjoy. Please understand, when there is something coming with it, there are also others going to be attached to that. He said, half the yearly interest is for me as my share, without which I will not be satisfied. Veerabhadhrappa would not part with anything, and Chenabasappa would not keep quiet. Both of them engaged in a heated argument, and then they both came to me. I told them both that Shankar was the absolute master of that land, which should not be of any use to anyone else, and so not to get entangled in greed. The price is most certainly of the land offered to Lord Shankara, and anyone except Gauri who desires it will starve to death. Whoever touches this money without God's permission will bring upon himself God's wrath. For this wealth belongs totally to the God. See, this is very true. Whatever is God's, you cannot claim your ownership on it, and greed brings you back to that same point where it all stopped. And then what? Your karma then is in full play. And see what happens now because of that karma. This land of which the priest was the owner and over which Gauri's claim was by way of inheritance. How could an outsider do anything about it? This wealth was entirely Gauri's own. So I told them both, you will have fulfilled your duty only if you act with Gauri's consent, treating it as belonging to her. But if you act against her wishes. God will not be pleased. Veerabhadra has no right to act independently on his own because he thinks he's married to Gauri and now he has the right over the land. This is what he thinks because it's my wife's property, so it's my property. He said, Baba, in your mind, although I voiced my true opinion in this way, Veerabhadra got very angry with me and showered abuses on me. See, when you give the right, that when you tell the truth and when you show them the direction, the person thinks, oh, they are against me, my Guruji is against me, everybody is against me. They don't want well for my life. That is exactly how the people will think at that time. And what did Veerabhadra do? Veerabhadra got very angry with me and showered abuses on me. Please see this. This is how the world works. When the great master only cares about your well-being and everybody else is caring about your well-being because you don't see the truth, what is going to happen to you, but you think, oh, they are against you. He said, Baba, in your mind, the idea must be to establish my wife's ownership and then of swallowing the whole amount yourself just to gain your own benefit and see how the blame game happens. And then they'll turn out thinking that, oh, Baba is interested in taking this whole money. Oh my God, welcome. Now, why don't you think that destiny is not going to play? It's going to doubly play upon you if you have such mean and you blame the great master and the God Almighty who's compassionate and trying to save you, a gutter person like you. On hearing these words from these words from him, I became speechless with amazement. Of course, anybody will become speechless. Here, somebody is trying to do good to him. On the contrary, he's blaming on them, thinking that they are doing bad to him. And you're accusing the master, saying that he is interested in your money. But inconceivable are the ways of Allah, Mia. Please understand, you don't know the ways of gods. Why should I have any regrets? Absolutely. Veerabhadrappa said this to me, but at home he stormed and fumed in rage against his wife. So in the afternoon, she came for darshan and began entreating me. Baba, by listening to the words of anybody else, please do not be displeased with me. I pray earnestly. Have a kind thought for me, your daughter. On hearing her words, I reassured her fully, saying, oh, I shall with my grace present you even the 7 seas, that is, cross the 7 seas to protect you. Do not be sad, but there is one goodness over there, this woman, but unfortunately she is entangled with this man because she was married, and that is the bondage, that is the karma, unfortunately. On hearing her words, of course. So on the same night, while asleep, Gauri Bai had a vision when Shiva appeared in her dream and listened to what he said. All this money is yours. Do not give anything to anyone and you manage it the way I tell you on a permanent basis. She is only following the Lord's will. It is not her will and she is very devoted to the divine. But the problem is she is married to a miser who's a greedy person, and because of her karma, she is bound by him. The money for the temple should be expended as Chenabasappa tells you, for I trust him. Make this a rule. If the money is to be spent on other works to prevent it being mismanaged, no arrangements should be made without first consulting the Baba in the mosque. See, again, everything is so well laid by God. But what happens to the man? He comes and becomes an impediment in people's lives, and that is called karma. That can be in the form of your mother, father, brother, sister, whoever. They're all the impediments in your life, and that is why in the Gospel of Ramakrishna Paramahamsaji, Ramakrishna Paramahamsaji said a very beautiful lesson. He said, if anybody who stands, be it your father, mother, brother, sister, wife, husband, anybody who comes in the way of your spiritual, you have to give up that relationship. There is no harm in giving up that relationship because they're ultimately impeding, are becoming an impediment in your spiritual growth. So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is very clear, and it is mentioned in the Gospel of Shri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So what are you telling? That you want to, succumb to your family pressures and get into a bondage? The money for the temple should be expended as Chenabasappa tells you, for I trust him. Make this a rule. If the money is to be spent on other works, to prevent it being mismanaged, No arrangement should be made without first consulting the Baba in the mosque. And here everything is, even that money, see, whatever that money is also is karma. And he's giving here how that money has to be used. You are also being given that ordained, because my Guruji knows that if this, what is the future that is going to happen. If he wouldn't have laid down those terms and conditions, more karma would have accrued. That is why the instructions of the Guru is very important in whatever that is you are going to do. Anybody, whether you're taking up a job, whether you're negotiating, whether you're taking some money, please understand this karma is very dangerous. People they do not realize this. They think nothing is going to happen. Oh, God is with me. God has given permission. God never gives permission for such wrongdoings. And they also know what is there in everybody's heart. What intention with somebody is doing a particular act, also he knows. He knows everybody's mind. He knows everybody's karma. And he wants to save you from it. That is the only motivation the Guru has. He has no other motivation. Please remember this. Gauri Bai narrated her vision to me in detail. I also gave her the right advice to trust in her vision. You take your capital amount and give half the interest to Chenabasappa. Follow this practice regularly. Veerabhadra is in no way concerned in this. While we were talking thus, both of them came there, quarreling with each other. I made every attempt to calm them down. I narrated to them in detail the vision of Lord Shankar which Gauri had. On hearing it, Veerabhadra became wild with rage. Why is he going to listen? He's carrying his tendency and the karma from the past. You think he's going to change? No. Veerabhadra freely showered abuses on his opponent and began speaking preposterously, which made the other bewildered and frightened. Veerabhadra grew delirious as he rattled away, senselessly saying, "Whenever I catch you, I will destroy you." So this is what happens. Karma has come into its play. In this wild delirium, Veerabhadra said, referring to Chennabasappa, "I will cut you up into pieces and then swallow them all up." The terrified Chennabasappa held tightly onto my feet, saying, "Please free me from this calamity." I then promised him protection. At that time, I reassured poor Chennabasappa and said, "I will not let you die at the hands of Veerabhadra ever." Later on, Veerabhadrappa, who had gone into delirium, died and was reborn as a snake. He was thus transformed with another body. See how karma has taken into account. What has karma led him to? Channabasappa took a mortal dread which brought on his end, and he was born a frog. Such is his story. Due to the enmity from previous birth, Veerabhadra had the next birth as a snake, and so he pursued the frog Basappa, Channabasappa, whom at last he caught. Poor Basappa, in the form of a frog, fell into the jaws of Veerabhadrappa, the snake. On hearing his piteous cry, my heart was moved to compassion. Remembering my promise given earlier, I kept my word by liberating Channabasappa from the snake's mouth. Allah rushes to the rescue in the hour of his devotee's difficulty, and he himself sent me here, thus protecting his devotee. See, this is the truth. The gurus, no matter what you do, how mean you are to them, whatever bad you think of a great master, but he's always there to rescue you because he knows you're an ignorant being who's unworthy, but yet he has his grace, and that is why he's God. He is the Lord Almighty who's always compassionate. He's benevolent, he's forgiving, he's very kind. Such a greatness of this master is. So be very thankful that you're still, under the refuge of your Guruji. Nobody will ever be able to save you except the God Almighty, and who is the Guru himself. But now, this has actually been the experience here. Veerabhadra was turned away and Channabasappa was saved from the calamity. All this is God's Leela. But now, do fill the pipe. After smoking it, I will return to my home. You two go back to your village. But keep your mind concentrated on my name. That is the most important thing. Let your mind only think about me. It's not worth of thinking of anybody else in this world. Just chant the name of the divine. That's the only way to redeem yourself and attain him. After so saying, we both smoked the pipe, and I had the happiness of saintly company. Thereafter, rambling along the road, I came back. In my heart, I felt great contentment. The only company you need to have is the holy company, the company of the sages and the saints and his devotee, not anybody else. If you have one material worldly person, I'm telling you, they are going to pull you down to gutters. Not only they are themselves there, but they will also drag you down right there. So we'll be told, here ends the 47th chapter of Shri Sai Satcharita, called The Narration of the Story Heard from Shri Sai's Mouth, as inspired by the saints and the virtuous and composed by his devotee Hemad Pant. So we finished the chapter, the tale of Veerabhadhrappa and Chenabasappa. So we'll begin a new chapter now. So this is chapter 48, the bestowal of grace upon a doubting devotee. As this chapter was started, a listener who was listening with great reverence asked, "Is Shri Sai a guru or a sadguru?" To satisfy him, let us briefly state the qualities of a sadguru so that we can identify those marks of a sadguru in Shri Sai Samarth. The knowledgeable do not call him a sadguru, from whom the Vedas are studied, or a knowledge of the 6 Shastras are gained, or by whom an exposition of Vedanta is given. Some hold up their breath in pranayam, wear on their bodies marks made by red hot metal coins, or amuse their listeners by lecturing on Vedanta. But the knowledgeable do not call these sadguru. In confirmation with the Shastras, they also give the mantra to their disciples with proper rites and rituals and command them to do japa. But no one is really sure as to when this will bear fruit. That discourse on the Brahman, which is highly interesting and rhetorical, but sadly lacking in self-experience. Such knowledge is hollow and literal. When listened to attentively, it may create a disgust for the worldly and other worldly enjoyments, but he alone who has experienced in himself can convey the sweetness of the actual experience of oneness with Brahman. Wow, this is my most favorite subject now. Who is the guru and who is the sadguru? There are a lot of gurus. Everybody calls themselves not only guru, they'll call themselves a sadguru and whatever they want to. They will give themselves titles. But a real master will never call anything himself. He doesn't even have a name. Yesterday, again, in my Krishna Guruji, in his satsang said, "I don't even know what is my name." People asked him, "What is your name?" So he said, "God knows," means Krishna knows. So his name became Krishna knows. We address him as Krishna Guruji. It's not Krishna, it's Krishna. It's K-R-S-N-A, the right spelling. It's not Shri, it's not Shri. It is Shri. It's Shri. He's the God Almighty, the glorious, the grandeur. He's Shri. He's Shri Krishna. Okay, Lord Shri Krishna. So that is how his name came to be. And Guruji. Why? Because only a real master can give you the direct experience of the truth, that which he imparts to you. 12 years in my journey with my Krishna Guruji. Every single day I experience whatever he imparts to me. It comes in both ways and to each his own, okay? Everybody's learning is different and everybody is getting that experience is different. So no comparison. I can only share my own experience of how I am learning with my Krishna Guruji. And very simple. Either I will get the lesson experience first and the lesson later. Or my Guruji will teach me that lesson and then I will get the direct experience of what that lesson means. And let me tell you, this is very powerful and it's very sometimes quite scary. But that is the way you need to understand. Everything that you learn in your spiritual world, you get the direct experience in your material world to realize this truth about what he is teaching. What is the knowledge that he is imparting? I think he is very beautifully so far described what are the qualities, of a guru and a sadguru. And please understand, a sadguru doesn't even call him a sadguru. No, he doesn't even say, I am a guru. He doesn't even acknowledge anything. That is the greatness of a real master. Those who brand themselves, those who call themselves, and they say, I have seen God, please understand, they're all the fake gurus in this world, and you can go fall prey to them, and there is no knowledge, nothing will happen to you. And that is why here says, you will get mantra as per the rituals and rites, but you don't even know when it will bear fruit. Likewise, they will give a spiel of Vedanta, of the power of the scholarly knowledge that they have. It's only, what does it say? It amuses the listeners of the lecturing on Vedas, but there's not a single iota of knowledge will be entering their brains, and not even an experience they will get. Some, but the knowledgeable do not call these Sadguru. But the knowledgeable means what? The knower of the Brahmas, or the wise men, the wise sages, the wise people, don't call them knowledgeable. Now, what else is mentioned? Yeah, they give them mantra, they ask them to do japa, but of course, nothing is going to bear fruit. Then the discourse on Brahman, which is highly interesting. Yeah, they give some great subjects they take, and they talk the most esoteric subject as though they have experienced that. And in rhetorical, but sadly lack in self-experiencing. They themselves don't have no experience about this knowledge. What is that they're going to teach you? Such knowledge is hollow and literal. It is only bookish knowledge. They don't have an experience of what these words mean here. When listened to attentively, it may create a disgust for the worldly and other worldly enjoyments, but he alone who has experienced it himself can convey the sweetness of the actual experience of oneness with Brahman. Only that is why we say Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. Only the Parabrahma can describe who a God is, not anybody else. That is why the Parabrahma manifests in the form of a Guru, so that he can impart this knowledge to you, not anybody else. So don't come and try to show your whatever the scholarly and the bookish knowledge in front of my Krishna Guruji. There are a lot of people come and open their big mouth and try to tell my Guruji how much they are knowing, how much knowledgeable they are. When you come in front of the great master, learn to shut your mouth and your mind. Don't dare open your mouth. You are nothing. You have no iota of a knowledge. In the front of the Guru, please show your humility and humbleness and be submissive. That is the way you will get the knowledge, not by any other means. Don't open your big mouth. Only he has the authority to instruct the disciple, who has a complete knowledge of the Vedas and has also a full experience of giving his disciple the actual experience of it. And only such a one can be called Sadguru. Again, see, the Guru himself is not giving this title. We are saying who can be called a Sadguru. But whether anybody gives him a title or not, he is the master of this universe. He is the Sadguru himself. Nobody needs to be giving him the title of Sadguru. Here it's saying only he has the authority to instruct the disciple, who has a complete knowledge of Vedas and has also a full experience of giving his disciple the actual experience of it. And only such a one can be called a Sadguru. This is the mark of the great master, a true master, a real guru, not anybody else. In these days today, too many people are teaching lot of subjects, and especially Bhagavad Gita. And my Krishna Guruji has said one very interesting thing. Until his Gurudev, who is Lord Dattatreya, did not tell him, now you go teach, he had never started teaching anybody. On the contrary, my Krishna Guruji never wanted to even teach anyone. But his Gurudev instructed him, it is your job to go teach. So, last 20 plus years, my Guruji day and night selflessly is imparting this knowledge to everybody. And those who are the real seeker of the spirituality, the only ones who can come to him. And only those who needs to get his grace will come to him at the right time. And that too, there are some people who come only for that short duration in time. Some will be there for one day, some will be there for 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, lifetime, whatever that period is. But as long as they have to be with him, that is all the period that will be. But please understand, the choice is in your hands. whether you want to be to eternity or you want to go back in your material world. My Guruji will never stop anybody. Those who want to come are always welcome. He'll say, my ashram, Krishna ashram door is open for everybody. We do not discriminate between anybody. There is no good and there is no bad. Everybody is welcome. They can come and they can go. The choice is theirs. The door is always open. I have not invited anybody. This is the words of my Krishna Guruji, and he has never shown any kind of a difference in his love, in his compassion, in his caring for everybody. It is the same. He has samabhav in his life. There is no favorites. Of course, yes, when those who are living with the master, he wants to those who, there is a responsibility that he wants to give. So he is going to teach them in a hard manner. That is all. But there is no discrimination among anybody. He loves everybody equally. There is no someone more, someone less. But yes, in the chosen ones, there are always the chosen one. When you are a chosen one, he has to put more efforts in them. Why? Because they have to carry forward their legacy. But there is nothing to be compared. He gives the knowledge equally to everybody. The knowledge is universal. The spiritual truth is universal knowledge. And this can only come from the words of the divine master, the real master alone, not any ordinary human being. Please remember this. Here Baba is very clearly explaining the mark of who's a Sadguru. But he who has no experience himself, what can he give to his disciple? He without such actual experience should never be called a Sadguru. He who does not even dream of taking any service from his disciple, but on the other hand, wishes to wear out his body for the disciple's cause, know that he is the Sadguru. I'm going to reread this. Please listen to it with full attention. He who does not even dream of taking any service from his disciple, but on the other hand, wishes to wear out his body for the disciple's cause, know that he is a Sadguru. My Krishna Guruji wears himself out for everybody's karma. He takes everybody's karma on himself and suffers. This is the mark. Nobody else can do this, not even your own parents, your brother, sister, your friends. Nobody will even stand when you are in need of anything. But my Krishna Guruji will. That Sadguru alone is beneficial, who does not have the conceit that the disciple is insignificant, while the Guru is the greatest among the great. Please understand, he doesn't consider anybody as insignificant. He thinks everybody is the same. There is no difference between a poor and a rich or a good and a evil. He only sees God in them. He sees the divinity in them. That is why my Krishna Guruji says we have to practice seeing God in everybody. Why? Because we can harbor that goodness, that love. That is the only reason. And yesterday I was talking about how in my Krishna Guruji satsang in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna has very clearly said this, okay? I am not in anything, neither is everything in me. This entire creation though has emanated from me, but they are not in me, neither I am in them. What does it mean? God is actually not in us. We have manifested, we are born of him. But who gives birth? Prakriti gives birth. Please understand, there is only that essence, but the manifestation happens only in the few. That is why there is only one Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Ji, there is one Vivekananda, there is one Sai Baba, and there is only one Radha Rani. There is only one Mirabai, there is one Tukaram. There is nobody, right? To be that great divine being, it is not so easy. The manifest of divinity is not so easy. You need to be worthy and deserving. And most important, do you have that ability to journey that path? You think what, achieving spirituality is such an easy thing? People just want love and devotion to be given to them on platter. Sir, it is not available for sale. You have to wear yourself out. You have to become worthy of that. And he doesn't look at anybody as an insignificant being. He cares about everybody. My Guruji's love is universal. You should see him. Whenever he meets even an animal or any people, he has the same compassion. What is the compassion that my Krishna Guruji shows? That, okay, these people are ignorant beings. They don't understand. So he forgives everybody's misdemeanors and suffers for everybody else's karma on himself. That is the mark of a real master, and nobody will do this. The disciple is looked upon as Brahman itself and is loved as son, without expecting from him any support for a livelihood. Such a Sadguru is the greatest in the world. Oh my God. Let me reread this again. The disciple is looked upon as Brahman itself. He sees that Lord himself has become this person, and that disciple is God himself and is loved as his own son. My Guruji loves everybody as his own son and daughter alone. There is no differentiation. And what does that son and daughter do? Backstab him. Without expecting him any support for livelihood. He is not expecting that you have to earn and give. But in the material world, your mother, your father expect you that you have to earn and give them. This is societal norms. So we have to follow. We have to take care of our wife. Our wife expects, oh, my husband should earn and give me. My children should earn and give me. I should be taken care. Oh my God. It's frustrating and irritating following these societal norms and getting carried away in that material worldly bondage. But a guru has no expectation that you have to serve him or you have to take care of him. He doesn't expect anything from you, but he takes care of as his own son. And such a Sadguru is the greatest in this world. Know him to be a Sadguru who is an abode of peace, has no conceit for his learning and knowledge, and to whom small or great are all equal. I already explained this. Such generally are the qualities of a Sadguru. In brief, which I, the humble one, have narrated to the listeners, having put them all together. Though, to those fortunate ones whose eyes are already satiated with Sai's darshan, what more can I say about the qualities of a Sadguru? When you come in the presence of a real master, when you just look at them, there will be so much of love. You can experience a peace. You see that Parabrahma sitting in front of you, yet there are idiots who think that they are some ordinary human being and disrespect them even after telling them, do not call him Krishna, and still will call him Krishna and give him the utmost disrespect. And people will come and talk to him any which way they feel like. This is not right. And please know that every time you do this, you are committing a great sin, a grave sin in your life. And the wrath you will have to experience from his universe. Such generally are the qualities of the Sadguru. In brief, I, the humble one, have narrated to the listeners, having put them all together. To those fortunate ones whose eyes are already satiated with Sai's darshan, what more can I say about the qualities of this Guru, of the Sadguru? It is only because the merit of innumerable births had accumulated in abundance that we came to the feet of the Sadguru Sai. Please understand, you have accumulated many lives in your previous lives, all the merits. That is why you have the grace to meet this master, not otherwise. And don't destroy that merit that you have earned. Attain your spiritual will. That should be your goal. And redeem everybody and redeem yourself. Free from the bondage of the material worldly entanglements that you have had for so many millions of your lives. Even in the very prime of his youth, he had no possessions. He was without any support, without a home and a hearth. All that he possessed was tobacco and a pipe, and great saint himself. My Krishna Guruji also has nothing to covet. He doesn't own anything. He doesn't have any family. This entire universe is his family, Vasudev Kutumbam. He doesn't own any children, husband, wife, father, material, nothing. He's alone. He's Parabrahma. He's Avaduta. He is eternally free. But everyone is his family. We are all his Vasudev Kutumbam. He doesn't differentiate between anybody. Please remember this. He has nothing in his name. Today he just can say, I want to walk out, and he's free. He's eternally free. He has no binding. He has no bondage. He just can walk out. But can we? No. We have some wealth in our name. Even a small piece of land or a little bank account is a misery to us. We cannot walk out. We are all bound. And people will come hounding. Not because they care about us. They care about our bank balance. They care about what we have. Oh, you're my daughter. You should take care of me. You're the one who's responsible for my life. I'm sorry, I am not responsible for anybody's life, or neither is anybody responsible for me. I do not owe anything to anybody. It's only God who gives birth to you, and He's the one who's your Karta Datta, and He takes care of you. I am nothing but a mere instrument in His hands. This is the truth. The day you understand, you will break away from all the attachments in this world and become detached. It is not worthy. Have only attachment to the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna and your Gurudev. Since the age of 18 years, he had absolute self-conquest. Always he would sit in solitude, self-absorbed and fearless. When he saw the pure loving devotion of the devotees, to prove to them that it was his promise that he was a slave of his devotees, he would always be present wherever there was such loving devotion. Hail, O eternal Parabrahman, you who uplift the poor and the meek and have always a pleased countenance, who are filled with the universal consciousness and are entirely in the power of your devotees. Please give darshan to the devotees. You who are beyond the pairs of dualities, are both Sagun and Nirgun, omniscient and beyond everything. Glory be to you. You are incomprehensible to those who do not worship you. Absolutely. God cannot appear to those who don't have faith in him. He's incomprehensible. Nobody can understand God. Nobody can know Lord Shri Krishna. Nobody can know God, please. First, you need to become worthy of it. Yesterday my Guruji gave a very beautiful secret. He said the only way can you experience is by being in sattva, goodness and love. Love is the only way. Love is the word that I stand for. Lord Shri Krishna is known for his prema, the highest form of love. It is called unconditional love. He doesn't care anything from you. He only wants your pure love. He is not interested in you giving him money, wealth. I think we have already discussed this enough. He only cares that, that leaf of tulsi with that faith and devotion, with absolute loving faith. That is all he cares from you. He doesn't want anything from you. To everybody, whatever they give, offer him with that love. He very graciously will accept. My Krishna Guruji, many things he doesn't actually like, or he doesn't want that. But when his devotees and disciples very lovingly offer to him, he will never say no to it. On the contrary, even if it's something that he doesn't want or he doesn't wear, but I will see him wearing it. Why? Because it is somebody else's love. And with that love, when they have given, he will accept everything with that goodness, with that love alone. He cares about, and to him, that is the highest thing. And he will actually save it and keep. He always will remember, this was given to me by this person, this was given to me by this person. And he only has seen their love in that. It is not the object that is interested, it is the love that he cares about. That is the truth of a real master. All hail, O Sadguru Raya, you who remove the pain and sorrow of this worldly life and destroy the elephant that the worldly life is, who love all those who take refuge at your lotus feet and protect them in their difficulties. When you merged with the unmanifest, your form became formless. But even after leaving the body, your work of uplifting the devotees has not come to an end. Absolutely. Even when the great masters leave the body, the mortal coil, and go back into the unmanifest world, they continue to work for this. That is the greatness of this divine being. But what are we? We go with a begging bowl. Bottomless pit. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. Then what? Go into your misery, and every time you have a problem, you come back again. So where is that you are asking, I want you. I want your love. I want you. I care about you. I only want you. I seek you, God. Nobody comes and seeks God. They all care because they want something in their life. Making me a lowly creature, your instrument, you have. All that you did while in the body still continues even after merging with the unmanifest. And those who worship you have the same experiences even today. Making me a lowly creature, your instrument, you have brought out the sun of your life story, which is powerful enough to uplift your devotees by dispelling the darkness of their ignorance. The belief in the existence of God, the faith and devotion for him is itself the earthen lamp that is the devotee's heart. And when the wicks burn bright with the oil of love, the flame of knowledge appears. Without love, knowledge is dry. Of what use is it to anyone? Without love, there is no satisfaction. But that love should be undivided. Means you cannot have division in that love. That love has to be exclusive. Single pointed devotion. It cannot be divided. It has to be undivided. Oh, how can the power and greatness of love be described? Everything is insignificant before it. And unless one has deep love in the heart, all the listening and reading is fruitless. Oh my God. Finally, we have come to the most important crux of the story. Till you do not have love in your heart, no matter what you listen, what you study, has zero value. All the listening and reading is fruitless. In love resides true devotion. In it lies all the peace and renunciation and mukti. With all its wealth stands behind it too. I'm going to reread this once again and we will end it here and we'll continue tomorrow. In love resides true devotion. In it lies all the peace and renunciation and mukti. Mukti is redemption. Mukti from everything, all your attachments. You're mukt. You're free. You're free from that bondage with all its wealth. Stands behind it too. Please understand, this is the only way out. Beyond that, nothing else is there for you to attain or anybody else to attain. So, we have come back with the end of the story, which is love and devotion is the only way. Service unto your lotus feet of your Gurudev and to Lord Hari, Lord Shri Krishna, the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. Chant his name. That is the only redemption, only mukti. Besides that, nothing else. I think all this knowledge is in vain, has no use. If you have no knowledge, if you have no love and devotion, knowledge is just dry. There is no use of it. Finally, Baba has given the answer. The only way to attain divine is through love and devotion alone. With that, we end this chapter today. I hope you had a good session. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining Sai Satcharita Parayana. See you all tomorrow morning. Om Shri Mahaganapade Namaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Digambara Digambara Shripad Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Krishna Gurunath Natha Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Devi Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Arpanam Namastu. Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru.